Hi everybody, and welcome back to Growing Up in Scientology. I did a video on this channel a while back, and the title of that video is The Matrix, Scientology, and Disconnection. The original title of the video when I uploaded it was Fundamentalist Scientology and Enforced Disconnection. And what I try to do in the video is to lay out for people, this is one of the first videos I uploaded to my channel, is to lay out for people what is the fundamental thing Scientologists believe that allow them to act in such a fundamentalist way. And by fundamentalist behavior, I included enforced disconnection, enforcing people disconnect from family members and being willing to have that leverage brought upon oneself. In other words, being willing to disconnect from one's own family members when the Church of Scientology comes knocking on your door and tells you that you have to. So that was why originally I called it Fundamentalist Scientology and Enforced Disconnection. And then to make it easier to search and to make the title more closely match what I actually discuss in the video content-wise, I changed it to The Matrix, Scientology, and Disconnection. And at the 27-minute mark of that video, I read two messages that I got on Facebook from two Scientologists. And I use these messages as an example of the kind of fundamentalist behavior Scientologists demonstrate against people for no reason other than that person departed from Scientology or that person spoke out against Scientology. At the time, I withheld the names because, one, I didn't want to make it about them as individuals. I wanted to make it about people like them and the behavior of Scientologists in general. I was also worried that if I put their names in the videos that they would be able to appeal to YouTube and get the video taken down. Well, a lot of water has passed under the bridge since then, and a lot of things have happened, and the entire atmosphere surrounding the conversation of Scientology has changed. The public in general are much more aware and conscious of this aspect of fair game that is so core to Scientology's policies and practices. And last week it was announced that a new explosive lawsuit against David Miscavige and the Church of Scientology has been filed. And with that announcement, we saw that some of the most powerful and experienced attorneys in the country are taking on Scientology, and part of this battle is going to center around fair game. And I think as we move forward here, it's going to become more and more important to hold people personally accountable for the kind of behavior and actions they take on behalf of the Church of Scientology to harass and fair game those who have left and are speaking out against the abuses of Scientology. So I have no reason to withhold these names any longer. And so I'm going to revisit the messages that I read in that video 4 years ago, except this time I'm going to tell you who these people were. So first up, we have Russell Posyton. Russ Posyton is very well known in the local Clearwater Scientology community. His wife, Lynn Posyton, is also very well known. Lynn Posyton works for Pat Clouden, who is a Scientologist that owns a local energy company called Consumer Energy Solutions. And Lynn is one of these Scientologists who gets trotted out to pretend like she's part of some community grassroots organizations involving Scientology, when really it's just AstroTurf. So every now and then, Lynn will speak to the press on behalf of some organization that was just created as a front group for some other Scientology organization. So for that reason, she's well known in the Scientology community, and of the Scientologists in Clearwater, she's one of those who has some name recognition among the non-Scientology community in this town. I actually used to work with Lynn at a local Scientology-owned business called Postcard Mania. And, you know, when it comes down to it, Lynn's a decent person, but, you know, she works for the Church of Scientology, even though she's not officially a staff member. So let's take a look at the wonderful message that Russ Posyton sent me on Facebook. This is in response to something that I had put up showing that I was not in lockstep with the Church of Scientology, that I was reading and in agreement with the types of things that Tampa Bay Times was reporting and regarding the abuses of Scientology and the abuses of David Miscavige. So there was some conversation happening on Facebook, and I sent him a message basically asking if he had blocked me. And he goes, "No, I didn't block you. You cocksucker bottom feeder. You are pitiful, and I feel sorry for you and your family. You were dramatizing your end theta long ago, and I saw it and you knew it, and that is why you unfriended me. LOL. You know who the loser is. I'm not thrilled to say that. I wish it weren't true. But do not pass go, Aaron. Okay, Aaron, just think what you have done to your wife and your children when you put your head down on the pillow tonight. I am sorry. Bye, Aaron." Okay, so that's Russ Posyton. It's worth mentioning that I'm not even sure I have ever met Russ Posyton in person. I know that we have been in the same place at the same time, but I'm not sure I've ever even had a conversation with Russ Posyton. We don't have some kind of a history that would justify him harboring so much animosity toward me. So this is the kind of behavior and attitude Scientologists express or can express towards people just due to the mere fact of them no longer believing, starting to distance themselves, and starting to maybe take a stand that some of the things happening in Scientology are not okay, and God forbid, start to imply that maybe David Miscavige has something to do with all this. I mean, it's game over if you imply that L. Ron Hubbard has anything to do with all this being bad and going bad. But even mentioning that David Miscavige might have something to do with it will really trigger a violent reaction in many Scientologists. All right, now let's take a look at example number 2. Now this message comes from a wonderful guy named Fazil Ahmad. Now Fazil is someone that I have known since I was about 14 or 15 years old. At that time, I was working full-time for the Church of Scientology. I was a contracted staff member to the Scientology org in Philadelphia. However, I was here in Clearwater at the Flag Service Organization, or Scientologists just call it Flag. And I was studying full-time as a part of some training program where every Scientology org in the world was sending 3 to 5 people here to Clearwater to train at Flag for specific posts as a part of a very specific technical evolution that was happening in Scientology at that time. And so I came to Flag for full-time training when I was 13. I was 15 when I left. And Fazil came near the end of that period. So I was 14 or 15 when I knew Fazil. Fazil was my age or maybe even younger, but when we're right around the same age. I'm 38 years old. Fazil is 37, 38, or 39. So we know each other and we have a history with each other. And what's remarkable about what I'm about to read to you is my history with Fazil has never been anything but positive. We were actually buddies back then. We were in the same circle of friends. I've never shared an unpleasant word with Fazil in my entire life. Back then, he was kind of a short, chubby, nerdy little kid from the suburbs of Chicago, and now he fancies himself some hard player in Los Angeles or something like that. So, and again, this is a message Fazil sent me strictly in response to some Facebook post where I was finally sort of coming out as being not on the side of Scientology and David Miscavige. So here's what our buddy Fazil says. Go do the world and your wife and your kids a favor and blow your fucking head off. I give 0 fucks for you. I feel sorry for your family. Go be with your crazy mom. And like I said, don't let me catch you in the street. Words mean shit. Come talk to me in real life, you cunt. I'll show you what kind of word you can use when you're begging for mercy. I'll pop those eyes even farther out of your head. Do my eyes stick out of my head? I don't think so. Say what you want, but I bet you won't say it to my face. You killed your brother. Now, what is that? My brother died in a car accident. By the time my brother had his accident, I had not seen him in 2 to 3 years. My brother had been out of Scientology and was going to college at the University of New Mexico. And I was still in Scientology and had recently joined the Sea Org in Los Angeles. So this statement, you killed your brother. He's just trying to rile me up by talking about my brother. So this is a uniquely dark statement. Okay, you killed your brother. You suburbanite, Philly-looking, wish you were hard, but all you are is a yuppie who does mud runs. I'm in Hollywood if you ever want to come find me. Otherwise, I'm done with you. Your suppressiveness doesn't even amaze me, but your lack of insults and your faggotry does. Hard words. So in response to Fazil's message, and before he could block me on Facebook, I made sure to share with Fazil the super confidential clear cognition and also the super confidential upper OT level information about Xenu and the body thetans and the thetan clusters and all of that good stuff. So to all of the OSA staff and any ethics officers who are watching this video, please be aware of and please make note of the fact that Fazil has been exposed to the confidential upper level data. Fazil knows that the clear cognition is, I just realized I've been creating my own reactive mind all along and I'm no longer doing it anymore. He already knows that. So if Fazil spits out the clear cognition in an auditing session, you have to be aware that he's just faking, and please act accordingly. He knows about Xenu and all of the body thetans that you learn about on OT3. He knows about all the other body thetans you have to find and audit on OT4. He knows about all the other body thetans and thetan clusters that you have to find and audit on OT5. And he knows that on OT7, you basically have to spend years telepathically finding and auditing the body thetans that are stuck all over the place. So please make a note in his PC folders and in his ethics folders. He's going to need a special auditor, and this is going to have to be taken up and addressed at the appropriate time. Now, one thing that Scientology and Scientologists never do is actually acknowledge the truth of any accusation that's ever been made against them. And they never acknowledge the truth of anything that comes out of the mouth of a so-called critic. Now, you'll notice in these messages that I've read, I've only read their part of the messages. In Fazil's case, he and I had an ongoing dialogue. In Russ's case, the dialogue was much shorter. So how about this? I'm not going to read my side of the messages. My side of the messages don't make me look that great either. If Fazil or Russ are up for it, hey guys, why don't you release my side of the messages and therefore validate that everything you just sent me that I just read is 100% true. I realize that neither one of you are allowed to watch these videos or allowed to watch anything on the internet that contains any sensitive, confidential, or critical information about Scientology. But people ask me all the time if I think that people from the Church of Scientology and Scientologists watch my videos. And I already know that they do. So let's see if you guys will do me the favor of proving that you do. Or that people in the church do, because one way or another, you guys are going to find out that I just did a video with your names in it. So let's see what you're going to do about it. All right, that's all I've got on this for right now. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye!